So here's the example we did in class, just in case you needed a review of it. So find the equation of a perpendicular bisector of segments with endpoints 2, 3, and 4, 7. So remember step 1, that was find the slope. We needed to find the slope or the gradient of our original point. So remember we go x1, y1, x2, y2. So we go m is equal to y2, 7, minus y1, 3, over x2, 4, minus x1, 2. So we get 4 over 2, which just equals 2. Step 2 is to find the perpendicular slope. So remember this upside down t just means perpendicular. So in order to find the perpendicular slope, we need to go negative 1 over our slope we found in step 1, which equals negative 1 over 2. So remember, this is called the negative reciprocal. It means flip the fraction and change the sign. All right? So remember that took care of the perpendicular part. So step 3, we need to now do the bisector part and find that midpoint. So our midpoint is x1 plus x2. So we're going to go 2 plus 4 being divided by 2. And then we're going to go 3 plus 7 being divided by 2. So that's going to give us 6 divided by 2 and 10 divided by 2. So our midpoint is going to happen at 3 and 5. So the two main things that we need to use to find the rest of this is this negative 1/2 here and this midpoint here. That is how we're going to create the equation for our perpendicular bisector. We no longer need this step 1. Step 1 was just to help us find this perpendicular bisector. So step 4, remember that's when we put it in the form y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Where in this case, m is referring to our perpendicular slope in step 2. And x1 and xy1 are referring to the midpoint in step 3. So when we sub those in, hold on while my computer thinks, we end up with, now let's write it down here, y minus, so we want y1, the y coordinate of our midpoint, 5. Remember, we want the perpendicular slope from step 2, the negative 1/2, x minus, again, we want our midpoint, 3. So our good old final step is to write it in the form y equals mx plus b. So in order to do that, we need to expand out this bracket. So taking this negative and putting it into both the x and the negative 3. We have y minus 5 equals negative 1/2 x, now plus 3 over 2. The negative and a negative make a positive. Then we need to add 5 to both sides. And really another way to add 5 so that we have a common denominator, that's going to be add 10 over 2. So this is 5 with a denominator of 2. We get a final answer. Y equals negative a half x plus 13 over 2. And that is the equation of our perpendicular bisector.